Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? I am michaelalfox, aka Foxman, and we're doing a new series today. This is Foxman Plays Prison Architect. Now, some of you may be aware that I more recently did a little bit of a delving into The Escapists. So, The Escapists is also a prison-based game where your goal is to escape prison. Well, I did that, and I thought, I want to do that some more. But I'm gonna let the game develop a little more because that is still kind of in earlier development. It's not the final game. There's a lot more to come. So I said, hey, let's just wait. I'd like a big surprise of a few more, aspects, prisons, and things of that nature in that game. And why not switch sides? Let's manage the prison. Let's build the prison. Let's prevent hooligans such as myself from escaping. So that's what Prison Architect is all about. The beautiful thing would be if they kind of married the games where you could design a prison in Prison Architect and then bring it into the Escapist and try to escape from it yourself. That'd be cool. But anyways, enough rambling. We're gonna get into creating a new prison here. And what I'm hoping to do in this episode, and probably the next episode for sure, is kind of cover as much of the basics as we can. It may not happen all in this one episode, but I don't want you to leave like unsatisfied being like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. It's not that. It's just I don't want to throw too much too soon. Kind of, I want everybody to ingest things because there are a few strategies I picked up on that I think will be useful, that maybe you're not familiar with. But at the same time, I feel like you guys could probably offer me some stuff that I don't know. I've only put, I'm around 55 hours into this game, but that's been over a very short period of time, just the past couple weeks, and I'm really loving it. But there's a lot of strategies I know I'm missing out on, and let's work on it together. But anyways, the best way to do that is just to build a prison. So we're gonna create a new prison. For those that are not familiar with this process of creating a prison for shizzle. Sorry. Anyways, what was I going to say? Oh, yes. Also, I feel like I should mention up front that this is the Alpha 25 version of this game. And typically, I don't like to do a series. At least I've learned this more recently of alpha level games. But after playing this for 50 odd hours, I feel like there's a substantial amount of stability and functionality and replayability in the game as is. A game I tried to do that, start a series with while it was still Alpha, Goddess. Not a good idea because they didn't know which direction the game was going. I feel like this is, it's got a very good core, and they're kind of adding functionality and tweaking things, but it's nothing substantial from one alpha to the next. At least I don't feel like it has been. Anyways, creating a prison. We're going to start with a small prison. You can start medium or large, but let's not kid ourselves. Let's take it slow, take it small, take it easy, baby steps. We're going to keep on Fog of War. I like the kind of the realism with that, and it actually helps you design a better prison, because it's one more aspect for you to think about. Basically, Fog of War will be that if you don't have guards and staff in an area of the prison and you don't have CCTV cameras and other things monitoring the inmates, then you won't be able to. It'll be a fog of war, right? You can't see what's going on, and when you can't see things, the inmates are going to take advantage of that. They're going to do their drug deals and swap contraband, things of that nature. So it's kind of, if I can't see something, it's going to be a reminder to me, like, oh, I can't see what's going on there. Let's, put a guard on patrol or put a CCTV camera up in that area. And hopefully that'll make our prison a little better, a little safer. It's all about reform, okay? I'm a good guy. I'm a good warden. Continuous intake. By default, it's off. You can toggle this in the game, so I think it just makes sense to kind of leave it off. But if you're hardcore, I'm sure this is kind of like a hardcore mode. You would keep that on. Good luck. Generate forest, by default, it's on. And I keep it on because if you cut down trees, you can sell them. Or eventually, if you build a workshop, you can take the logs from the cut down trees and you can use them to make like beds and and things of that nature, which is going to increase your revenue generated from exporting, these built goods, which is awesome. Generate buildings off by default. I leave it off. I mean, it's kind of cool. I think it might be fun to do, but not for a starter prison. Failure conditions, we're going to keep on by default as well, just because, you need some feedback. This is the best feedback that you can get that you're doing something wrong, is when basically the CEO of the prison is going to call you and be like, fix this in 24 hours or you're done, kind of thing. So it's nice to have that reminder, learn from our mistakes, constructive criticism, all that. And unlimited funds. This is kind of a fun way, like if it's your first time playing, you might want to turn the failure conditions off and turn on the unlimited funds. Then you can kind of build a prison, get used to all the controls and everything that there is. And then when you're familiar with that, then you kind of go into the more realistic mode, start another prison on the 30,000. At least you'll kind of know a little bit of the flow of things. I'm not going to do that because I already know, and hopefully if you're unaware, I can help guide you, okay? Anyways, that's, pretty simple. We're going to hit play. First thing I'm going to do, going to hit pause, going to hit this reports thing down here. Reports, pretty useful. It's kind of a central area for most of the information we're going to be looking at throughout the series, or, any prison that you build. This is where you want to be hanging out. A lot of these are grayed out. They will become available when we've accomplished some other tasks. But the key thing I want to point us to right now is this prisoners tab. By default, we are allowing normal risk prisoners to come in. So every day or every 24 hours, you're going to get 8 prisoners. Sometimes you'll get 14 prisoners, 13 prisoners, whatever. You're going to get quite a few. But we don't have a prison yet. And while it is totally possible to build a prison in 24 hours, sometimes I like to take a little more time. And it's not a big deal to not be making revenue off of prisoners for the first few days, so long as we're managing our budget, properly. I'm going to shut that off, and then when I feel like we're ready to take in prisoners, we will. And the reason you do that too is because you could build some of the basics, but if you don't have a laundry room or a common room or different things of that nature, or you don't build them for a while, your prisoners are going to start to get a little angry. They might start shanking each other, shanking the guards, rioting, who knows what. And to me, it's all about reform. You want to keep them comfortable and happy. Of course, not too comfy and happy. They need a little punishment. But anyways, we need to make sure things are ready. Jobs, this is going to be like an auto thing. It's just so you're aware of what's going on. Whenever you tell your staff to do something, the job is going to be listed here. They're going to figure out stuff to do on their own. It'll be listed here. Staff, this is where we have, right now we automatically start with, see, the screen is jumping around. It's because it's whenever you actually highlight on one of these guys, it takes you to them. So there you go. These are our workers coming, first day on the job. They're going to help us build stuff. And then when we start to hire guards, warden, accountants, all the other staff, they're going to pop up here. The other tab we have initially is the grants. So these are ways that we can kind of generate additional money. Basically, the government's like, we'll give you some money. A lot of the time it'll be upfront money, and then you'll get the completion bonus as well for completing certain things. And it's mostly going above and beyond, right? We could have a really shitty prison, barely making any money. That's fine. You can do that. But you can go with some of these initiatives, staff well-being. You want your staff to be happy and comfortable. So if you do this, you'll get 10,000, and all we have to do is build a staff room, have at least 5 guards without assigned duties, and ensure none of our staff are exhausted. So to me, that's an easy 10 grand. Maybe to someone you're less experienced, you're like, oh my god, that seems like crazy talk. But a lot of these things we're going to be doing regardless. So, by activating one, it's just like free money at a certain point anyways. And sometimes when you're running out of money, you can take on a grant. You'll see if we did this, 20,000 up front, and then we'll say, okay, I'm going to use this money to get a workshop going first to generate some money, and then we're actually going to complete this grant. You know, you can have this grant going on for as long as you want, but remember, up front you can only have 2 grants. You can unlock in the bureaucracy mode a 3rd grant, but other than that's it. Basically, you can only have up to 3 grants going on at one time, and you need to complete one to take on a new one. So keep that in mind. And that's it for these tabs right now. Of course, they will start to become clickable when we do a few other things first. So, my first ever prison was kind of willy-nilly and looked like a pile of dog poo. It kind of worked. It wasn't that efficient though. So, hey, you know, sometimes that's the fun of the games, is you can have like a totally crazy zany prison and just see how the staff and the inmates are going to react. Some people like do that intentionally. I've gotten to the point where I still haven't mastered this game, so I'm working up to mastering it before I kind of wreak havoc on everything. That's the way I play games in general, right? It's like GTA. I'll be a totally cool good guy Nico, and then after I complete the game, it's just like, all right, I'm gonna kill every person with a rocket or a grenade or something. But we're gonna plan this stuff out. I kind of have a method, modus operandi. Modus operandi? Is that that's? I don't know, I'm a little rusty on my Latin. My MO. Anyways, we're gonna do kind of a fence around here. Actually, a double-layered fence. I typically, you know, if I had unlimited funds, I would start straight up with the perimeter wall. Perimeter wall is actually like where they dig down kind of into the earth, and the wall goes down that way, and that prevents inmates from tunneling out. They can't go through the perimeter wall. The fence just basically sits on top, so that's okay. I mean, they can't like run out on top of the ground out of the prison, but they could still tunnel out, and they will try. So that's going to be our general fence there, and then we're going to do another one like 1, 2, 3. There we go. So I like to leave 3 blocks. Each block correlates to 1 meter in between. That's just so, you know, if we have guards or patrols going on, you can get dogs that will go and sniff around for tunnels and whatnot. We give them a little space to do that. A little space for maintenance guys to get around and all that good stuff. And these fences up front I'm actually going to kind of get rid of, because I'm going to have some buildings hanging out around there. I like to do my administration building separately. Again, that will kind of make more sense in the future. We can set certain areas or zones or buildings as different uses. So we could say this is staff only. So then the inmates know not to go there. If they go there, they know they're going to get in shit. And the staff as well will know. They'll see an inmate there and like, you shouldn't be there. They'll go and put them in solitary or put them back in their cell, whatever you say. And then there will be certain areas where we say, yes, inmates, you can go here and all that. And we can even divide up the different security levels. You can have low security inmates, medium, maximum, super max, and even protective custody, which is really cool. Well, anyways, now you see my basic outline there. I'm actually going to go and this kind of, we're going to get rid of like that, because there's going to be buildings. I might have to fill in some of the fence here, but there's buildings going to be right up against this anyway, so it'll act like a barrier regardless. There's no point in putting fence up against it. Perimeter wall around it though would be a good idea, but again, perimeter wall, I'll show you, it costs $200 per meter, per square, whereas this fence is like $3, I believe. If we go to materials, fence, yeah. So let's just start getting this stuff. I'm gonna get this all kind of queued up, and you can see as we're doing this, it tells us that's gonna be $258 for that, and then boom, it's gonna take it immediately away from our bank balance. So we're starting with 30,000, which is actually gonna be okay. Again, remember, you know, the earth wasn't built in a day, and neither will this prison. It'll be over a substantial period. and we'll get a nice little balance of, say, 100 or somewhere around 100 prisoners, and then I like to let it go for a little while and be like, all right, this is an okay equilibrium. There aren't stabbings every day. People aren't escaping. It's okay. And then you kind of say, all right, let's add 10 more prisoners. Let it go a little while. Another 10 or maybe 20, whatever amount you want. You just need to kind of stress test it. And then you say, okay, well, now I've got 20 more prisoners. I need to make the canteen a little larger. As well, I like to point out, I'm talking a lot of this stuff. I'm getting ahead of myself. Don't worry, it's all going to make sense soon. You're like, canteens? What are you talking about? You don't even have a fence up yet. Anyways, let these, put the time back on. We're going to let it go. We'll speed it up actually a bit. You see this truck of materials coming in. These are materials that they require to build the fence. Oh, there's more materials. As well, I'm going to designate the room tab. Basically tells us all the different room types. And some of them aren't even rooms necessarily. They're going to tell us all the room types, though, that we can have in this game. So if you want a canteen, you have to build, a foundation and walls and then designate it a canteen and make sure that area meets all the room requirements, right? So this canteen, it needs to be indoors. It needs to have at least one serving table, one table, and one bench. Of course, that can only accommodate so many inmates. So you're probably going to have to load up on quite a few. And there's actually, it's pretty cool. There are people that have shared Google Docs and stuff. If you go to the Reddit community, our prison architects on there, a lot of people talk about best ways to, maximize your efficiency, so on and so forth. They'll say, for every 100 prisoners, you need a canteen with like X amount of tables and benches and serving tables. And then that way everybody can eat. And similarly for kitchen, you'll need so many cookers, so many fridges, so many sinks to accommodate that. So there's quite a fair bit of strategy in this game, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm doing this series, is so I can share it with you guys and I can learn from you, because I've seen some pretty wild and extensively complex prisons going on out there, and I just want to learn, like, how do you do it? Teach me. So at least if I'm providing kind of the template of this is what my prison is, let's take it from there, I feel that's easier than just like, taking in nonsensical, no context kind of advice. You guys could say, well, like, your kitchen's good, but you need 3 more fridges. I'm like, oh, that's easy to know. Or you could just talk out of your ass and be like, you need a kitchen with like 18 by 22 squares, and like your cable should run this way, and you need pipes over here, and you need three sinks, but they need to be arranged, and I'll just be like, what? Like, I have no base to compare it to. So anyways, I'm rambling. These guys, they're building. I was talking about rooms. I'm gonna designate a storage area because they're gonna deliver this stuff here, but our delivery area is only so big. I could make the delivery area bigger, but I just like to keep it like that for now. I'm just gonna put this area for now as like a storage. This could be indoors or outdoors, but again, we're kind of just trying to get into the super basics right now. So a lot of the stuff you see me do in this episode is not going to be like super pretty and super efficient. That'll come, I promise. But again, I just want to show you the basics of the game for those that are unfamiliar. And for those that are like, oh yeah, I played like 100 hours of this game, don't worry. I mean, I'm going to get into some of the more advanced stuff like servos and remote doors and la-di-da in time, in the next few episodes anyways. But, again, the Earth wasn't built in a day, and this prison, it won't be built in a day either. Actually, these guys they're doing a pretty good job, but it's not going to be built in a day. Come on. Also, you can see these trees randomly generated, so a lot of them are going to automatically be chopped off when we say to build a foundation in certain areas, and then they'll just put the logs in storage, and we can decide to sell them or just keep them in storage. And then once we have a workshop, then they'll start taking those logs and using them rather than having them shipped in. Although they will have them shipped in if you don't have enough logs. You can, start up a forestry and generate your, grow your own trees and use them, which is pretty cool. But that will be a little ways off. Anyways, back to planning a little more. I like the planning tool. You can plan with walls. You can even plan where certain objects are going to go if you know the general dimensions, and same thing for pathways. Never underestimate like pathways. You need your prisoners and your staff and everybody moving quickly, moving efficiently. So having a 1 block wide hallway is a recipe for disaster. You usually want at least two blocks. So that's what I'm gonna do. Just keep that in mind. In this area here, excuse me, I like to do my administration. So if we look at the rooms quickly, we're gonna see, you know, offices are kind of the primary portion of administration. Of course, we're also going to have a staff room there. We will also eventually have a kennel, an armory. There should be a security office right up here, and that should mostly do it. So these are all things that are basically going to be hands off to the inmates, and we're going to have an isolated building. And we're also going to kind of have the visitor, or the visitation room will be up near the entrance here, so that the people that are visiting don't have to go all the way through or into the prison. We'll basically escort the prisoners through a nice secure area to the visitation room, and all that. And it's going to be monitored with metal detectors and guards and security cameras and all things of that nature to make sure that the guests aren't bringing in contraband and all that, because they will. So how do I want to lay this out? Offices need to be at least 4 by 4, and we'll need 5 offices. 1 for the chief, the security chief, 1 for the warden, 1 for the foreman, 1 for the psychologist, and 1 for the accountant. Eventually, we will have more offices, but they're actually going to be kind of in the prison, and that's for the reform programs. And that's basically going to be for the psychologist to kind of have one-on-ones. Oopsies, I don't want to be planning here because we can't actually build on this this one little block cell all the way around. You can't build on it. So, anyways, yes, there are reform programs, and the psychologist will have one-on-ones with inmates and be like, it's basically behavioral therapy. Like, how do you feel, Bob? Like, well, I just shanked a guy. I feel like it wasn't the right thing to do. It's like, no, that wasn't, Bob, but, you know, at least you're questioning, and whatever they discuss in that kind of stuff. Anyways, this is, alright, you can see they're kind of finally catching up there. So this is going to be our 5 offices. We're going to have a hallway here. In the administration building, you could probably get away with just 1 block hallway, but I like consistency. It's good to get in the habit of, you know, every hallway 2 blocks wide, period, end of story. So you can see as well as they build this stuff, it removes the planning, which is nice. I like that. That, and then eventually we're gonna have, you know, I should just go. This is way bigger than I need it to be. I'm just trying to think. So we have to deal with, we need a kennel, we'll need an armory and security office. Armory and security office can pretty much be the same room or same area. Kennel has to be enclosed by itself. Staff room will want to have. I'm just thinking of the best place to put some of this stuff. You know what? It doesn't matter. I'll think of it after. The first and most important thing is building an office for the warden. 2 different types of foundations. There's brick and concrete. To my knowledge, there's not really a difference in the game for these. Maybe there is. I'm just not aware of it, is what I'm saying. But I like to do aesthetically. I feel like brick is appropriate for the administration. And then I like to do concrete for the prison. The way I figure it is brick, you've got all that mortar and stuff, so that's easy. If somebody gets like a big old bolt or something, they can kind of scrape away in between the mortar, and then you could place the brick in and out, so that you wouldn't know that they took that brick out, right? Whereas concrete, if you destroy it, it's just like a big crumbly pile, and there's not really any way to hide it except for a Rita Hayworth poster. So That's my logic, but again, I don't think it's really going to make too much of a difference which you use. They just look a little different. So foundation here is kind of click and drag. I'm just going to build all of these offices like this. And then the rest of this area, we're kind of going to tackle it as we go, as we need it. And we do require an entrance. But, so we go to objects here. It's quite a few different doors. The first time I ever played, it's like, what door do I use? Staff doors can be opened by any member of staff. So that's like janitors, gardeners, the workmen, obviously your warden, your guards, and all that stuff. So you don't want to have too many because they'll just like open them even for inmates and stuff that want to get into a certain area if you allow them to get into that area. Solitary doors, it's just a heavier jail door. Essentially, they cost more. Jail doors 200, solitary 500. Usually I use these for solitary. Regular door, anybody can open. Ain't nothing stopping anybody from going through there. A large jail door is same as a jail door. It's just 2 blocks wide instead of 1. Remote door can only be opened remotely. A guard cannot open it with a key or anything. And using these requires a little more advanced knowledge. Basically, you're going to need a door control system, which is a separate unit. You keep that in a different area, and then you connect it to a door servo, which sits above the door, and then a guard can control that remotely. And they say, oh, somebody wants in that room. They basically are at the console, and they open and close it. It can be problematic. I will show you later why, because sometimes guards will leave their post at the door control system, and then things get really backed up in the prison itself. So anyways, I'm going to let these guys start putting up their doors. And while they're doing that, we can plan out. I'm just going to put, let me think here. It's not quite super duper efficient, but I like to keep my utilities and stuff a little separate up in this top right corner. The reason why it's not so efficient because you have to run a lot more electrical cable and piping, so you can provide the electricity and the water. But I just kind of like to keep it out of the way, keep it in one nice little area. Again, that's something I'm going to improve upon in the future, but it's not going to be the end of the world. So they provide us with 1 power station, 1 pump station, and then 1 capacitor. Capacitors attach onto the power station. You can have up to 16 capacitors per power station, and each capacitor is going to increase your power producing capacity by 50 units. We're just going to say units. I don't want to get into this whole megawatts, gigawatts, kilowatts, because I don't even think the game really, gets into that. So we're going to put this here, and I'm leaving spacing around it because the capacitors will need to go immediately next to it all around. And then I still want at least 1 space so that, the staff can walk around. You could do 2 spaces, of course, but it's not necessary for this area. So we're going to do that, and then we're just going to put our free capacitor. You can see how I placed those. It didn't take away from our bank balance. You can see the little 1 under the object. That means you have that much of that item in storage, like it's already been bought. So you can place items down, and then you can dismantle them, and you're not losing it. It's just going into your storage, so then you can use it later. So keep that in mind. If you buy like too much of say these staff doors or something, you can dismantle them and save them for a rainy day. Certain items though, like if I dismantle this fence, or you dismantle foundation or walls, things that are built like that, it's just garbage. That's lost money. Another thing we want to do here is we're going to go back to materials, and like the foundation, there's concrete wall and brick wall. I am going to put a nice wall in here so that all these people in these offices can have their privacy, so they can, slap their turkey or spank it or whatever in privacy. Alright, and you see these little flashing lightning bolts? That basically means, hey, we don't have electricity. And in particular, there's little lights. You can kind of see a little faint yellow dots. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But that's where they're saying they need electricity for those lights. Lights are automatically kind of placed when you build a foundation. And of course, we're going to provide the electricity to that shortly, but we do not need electricity to have these offices, you know, meet all their requirements. So another thing we need to do is click on our rooms, and we find the office. Just click and drag on all these guys, and now it's going to give us our little warning saying, hey, you're not meeting the requirements, and we're seeing that we need an office desk, a chair, and a filing cabinet. So I'm going to go to my little objects area here, and it even, when we're kind of hovering above these room types, it's going to highlight the things that we need or that we're using currently. So actually, let's start with the desk. I can press the R button on my keyboard, and it's going to rotate it. I want the keyboard facing in this way so that when people walk in the office, they can't see what they've got on their computer screen, because they're probably going to have porn, and you don't want them to get caught, you know. You don't want it awkward like that. So we're just going to do that. It doesn't actually make a difference like how you place these items. Oopsies. But you know, I like it's the little things. And then our filing cabinet we're going to put there. There we go. That's nice. And that's all we're really going to need. And then I can hire a warden, and he's gonna unlock a whole slew of things for us. So you can see, you know, certain things need unlocking, which we will actually get to fairly quickly. If these guys would get to doing their job fairly quickly. You see, there are, when stuff comes in the delivery, they move it over to here to storage. It's bigger. You can see here the power station. I'm not sure. Okay, now you should be able to see a very faint little red line there. It's not drawing any power because it's not hooked up to anything, basically. And there's a little black bar here. You see that black bar? That kind of, it's a way of, this is the total power capacity. And every time you add a capacitor, it's going to add another black bar. So eventually you're going to see, you know, 16 little sections there, or probably 17, I guess. One for the power station itself, and then the 16 capacitors if you choose to build them. So that's kind of nice to know, I guess. It's an easy way to be like, oh, all right, I'm using 3/4 of the power being produced from this power capacitor, or this power station and its capacitors. And maybe it's like fully loaded up. So you're like, oh, I should think about getting a completely new or additional power station. You know, something to keep in mind, of course. All right, these offices are good except for the electricity, but it's fine to get things started with Warden. He is going to cost us initially $100, but he also costs us $200 per day. So that's going to come out of our cash flow. So keep that in mind with staff. You could hire a lot of staff, but if you're not producing any revenue, you don't have any prison exports, like you're not producing license plates or beds or whatever, and you don't have a lot of inmates, you're not going to be making money. So, you know, it's one of those things. You got to spend money to make money, of course, but if you got to make sure you know that you're doing it efficiently. So I place him in here. Usually he goes in this one, but they can take any office that's available. You can see now it says Warden's office. I'm not exactly sure about the logic. If they just randomly pick one or whatever, it's fine. But yeah, it's still kind of a question I have in my mind. But yeah, it's still kind of fun. I'm also going to just get rid of these little planning blocks there because we don't need them. So now that he's there, we have available to us the bureaucracy little button down there. This brings up a cork board of all these different things that we can research, that you will want to research to have a decent prison. First things first, I'm going to do finance, because one of the grants actually requires that we research finance and we hire an accountant. And hiring an accountant requires you to have research finance. So $500, well worth it. And then after that, I want them to do maintenance, because from maintenance, we're going to get cleaning and groundskeeping unlocked. Doing cleaning is going to allow us to hire janitors, and groundskeeping is going to allow us to hire gardeners. They're going to keep up the prison, and then prison labor is actually going to allow us to build a laundry facility where we can get the inmates to work the laundry, and they can also work the kitchen or the cleaning room from there as well, and the workshops. So we'll just click that, and then he can only research one thing at a time. So after he finishes finance, he's going to move on to maintenance. And then once this is unlocked, Miss Lippy here can then start researching one at a time these things. Mr. Hardhat can do these things, and then similarly when we do security, Mr. Copper is going to be able to handle actually a lot of these things. So we'll let them go, and they kind of happen down here. You can see their little progress bar. So now that that's kind of going, and we've got this, we also need to put in, oopsies, wrong button, utilities. We need to put in a water station. So I'm going to put that right here, and this will require dedicated power. And you can see that provides a source of water to your prison, so it's electrical, high powered. So that just means that we need to hook up a electrical cable directly to it. Certain things like the lights that are requiring power over here, we can bring this cable to, like, you know, right outside these rooms, and then little tiny electrical cables will automatically shoot off of it, and they'll go a distance of so many blocks, and they will power things like low power things like the lights. So that's kind of nice. You don't need to bring a direct cable to everything, but to this, actually when he finishes building it, you'll see it's flashing, and it's got one cable already there. So that's how you know it needs to be connected directly to one of these beefy cables. It'll be like that. So these chumps are going to come back there. They're going to put the cable, and then we can start routing large pipes, which they provided us 20 with. And we can then prepare to bring water to the toilets and to the showers and all that good stuff. It's coming along. And I learned how to... Wait, how does that song go? Wait. And now you're back from outer space. I forget how it goes, but I freaking love it, which is hard to believe considering I don't know the words. Anyways, these guys are moving at a medium snail's pace. I don't want to make them go too fast. So I think he's finished her, so he's working on this now. And one of the things I'm gonna get her to do is an extra grant. So then we can do 3 grants at a time, which means we can get some nice juicy money. But that extra grant is not gonna be moving until we actually hire her. So staff, now we can hire an accountant. We'll see which office she takes up. Oh, and she takes the one next to the warden. Interesting. I wonder if they're gonna put a glory hole in between the walls. These guys need power. Let's just do that now while I'm thinking of this. Now, you can run this electrical cable through like foundations and fences and all that stuff, but you can't run it through a perimeter wall because, again, like I mentioned earlier, you dig down, so it would just kind of sever it. And eventually this fence, I actually want it to be perimeter wall, so preparing in advance, I'm just going to kind of follow the contour of it rather than go through it, because in the long term it's just going to be a pain to deal with that. So we'll bring it down like this. Should be okay. We'll see if we need to expand it, because the little tiny cables that they automatically route might not reach some of these offices, but that's okay. We're going to do that. Let them do that. Now let's plan out a little prison here, or like actually where the inmates are gonna be. So I'm gonna take a drink first before I talk again. Sorry. Okay, excuse me. I've dabbled in a few different designs for these. You know, the way I keep the inmates. Some of them I like. Some I'm not sure about. Some of them I hate. I don't know, but the current one I've been going, which you'll see shortly, I feel it's worked okay for me in the past. I do want to improve on it, of course. So first things first, I'm gonna again plan out. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, perfect. So we're just gonna plan out a general area here, and go like that. And then we're gonna have a perimeter hallway around these cells of 2 wide. Okay, so right there. So this is going to be the outer kind of foundation, the whole foundation, and then this is going to be like a room within a room almost. You're going to have a lot of rooms within a room. Now, our cells need to be 2 blocks by 3 blocks at a minimum, but that's plenty of space, so we'll stick to the minimum. But we also need to think about other things like showers and canteens and kitchens, and you need to make sure these things are somewhat close and all that. So I like to do the showers actually at one end of each block of cells. But first, let's start with, you know, we'll do the 2 by 3 thing like that. So you can see 2 by 3, and I like to have, you know, around 20 cells total in a block, give or take. It doesn't really matter. You don't want too much though, because then too much shit can go down. But if you have too little, then you're not making good use of your space, less inefficient. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What is that? 10. Because this back here is going to be actually. Oh, and I made a boo-boo already. No, I don't want to do that. Go like that, and like that. This is going to be a hallway. There we go. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's perfect. And then we need to finish up over here. Just quickly now. Pardon my clicks. Go like that. Boom. That looks beautiful. So there's gonna be, wait, that's, oh my god, I'm such a dummy. I thought I made that hall 2 blocks wide. Of course, I only made it 1 block wide. There we go. Ah. This is what we want. This is what we want. 2 blocks wide. There's gonna be like a large prison door here. I'm also gonna pause this while I'm doing this shit. I said pause. There's going to be a large prison door here to kind of isolate this cell block, and then there's going to be, basically think of this, and then we're going to copy and paste it a few times. And then that way you can kind of keep things isolated, a little more controlled. You can lock down cell blocks or search by cell block. And we're also going to put a shower back here. That's kind of what this bigger room is, and then we've got this hallway so that the guards can do their patrols. And let's get rid of... This is just where the doors, the jail doors are going to go. So we can remove that. And then that's good. Now, the thing is, we don't. If we build all of these at once, it's going to be a bit much. Actually, if we read the CEO's letter, I'm going to read the whole thing to you. Basically, you're going to learn all this stuff from me anyways, but let's just go through it. Dear Sir/Madam, congratulations on completing your basic induction. You are now a fully qualified prison architect. Soon you'll be designing, building, and running your own prisons, starting from nothing but an empty plot of land and a few stacks of bricks. Before you get started, I thought I might share an important lesson with you. There's some important lessons for you. 1. Every prison needs a warden. He should be one of your first hires. Build him a nice office and he'll open up a whole range of advanced facilities via the bureaucracy system. Check. 2. Individual jail cells are expensive, especially early on when funds are very tight. Save money by starting with a single large holding cell, which can be started or shared between many prisoners at once. I don't like doing that, but you know, you could do that. 3. Get your kitchen and canteen up and running before your first prisoners show up, and be sure to hire some cooks. Nothing irritates a prisoner more than an empty stomach. Ain't that the truth? 4. Many items require a water connection. Water is provided by a water pump station, and pipes are built in the utilities view. Use small pipes to connect individual items together, then use large pipes to connect back to the station. Small pipes can only carry water so far before they lose pressure. That's about everything. Good luck, the CEO, Prison Architects Corp. P.S. Share tips with fellow architects at www.prison-architect.com. Cool beans. Delete. He's right though about the water pumps. So there's large pumps or large pipes. I'm pointing to my both my biceps right now. Those are large pipes. Oh yeah. And then there's the small pipes. Small pipes can travel, I believe it's 35 blocks from a large pipe, and then beyond that they lose pressure, and you're not going to be able to provide water to whatever fixture is attached to them, right? But you want to use small pipes where you can, because especially around the cell blocks, because prisoners or inmates can use the large pipes to basically express route out of the prison. They can, they can tunnel, they can dig through things, but why would you dig through earth when you can just dig into a pipe and then use that to get wherever, and then kind of leapfrog from that, dig a few more blocks and you're out, right? So something to keep in mind. Anyways, that's out of the way. We'll get to that shortly, building all these pipes and stuff. What was I gonna say? I don't know. Oh yeah. We're gonna be getting 8 prisoners, so we're only gonna build 8 cells at first, and then we can kind of copy and paste them pretty easily and build them as we require them. I mean, you don't want to do one by one. Usually you want to do at least in chunks. Eventually we're just gonna be copying like entire cell blocks and building them when we're rolling in all sorts of dough. Actually, you know what? Let's take on some of these grants. We're gonna build this entire block. So we'll take this one on because we get 20 advance payment, and we're gonna be doing most of these things anyways. Administration center, we'll do that, and I'm going to health and well-being is something I'm going to do, or do I want to do the staff initiative? No, we're going to do the health and well-being because that's going to be easy as well. So you can see our money just jumped up to 58,000, and then we're going to get an additional 10 plus 5 plus 10, so that's 25,000 once we complete these. So there's a little incentive to complete them. And as we do these things, you're going to see a strike through on them, so it's easier to keep track of what you have left to do. But first, I'm going to take the foundation tool here, and we're going to do the concrete foundation. Actually, no. That would be poor planning. Let me finish off this to make sure we don't have any short-sightedness going on. So this is going to continue this way. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And then you can eventually unlock the ability to buy new land, so we can expand outwards. So you don't have to worry too much about running out of space or anything. You'll be like, how are you going to get a 600-person prison on this plot of land? Well, that's your answer. You pretty much aren't, unless you make it one giant holding cell and let them fend for themselves. But that's not going to be pretty. So there we go. So I'm going to start by building concrete foundation, and we're going to go like 1, 2. Okay, that is good. Start like that, and again we're gonna need to build more because we need a canteen. I like to do just kind of one large one, and same thing for kitchen. We're gonna need a large kitchen. We're also gonna need a yard. We're gonna need want to have a laundry room. You don't need that right away, but we'll definitely want it, and then several other things. Anyways, they need a entrance to build this foundation. This is just kind of a temporary one. I don't actually want a staff door right there. Eventually it's mostly going to be jail doors and stuff. We're going to kick it into high gear. And also while they're building that, well, I told them, oh right, the reason why electrical cables and shit aren't going in there is because they've got doors and stuff. So I believe that's, wait a minute. Unless Yes, that is why. Also, there's no foundation or anything. That's probably... I'm gonna test something out. Actually, because this is something I'm a little fuzzy on. Bricks. Let's go like this. Objects, we'll put another staff door. Just put one right there. And see if that changes the wiring situation. You can see these guys are going fast, and they finished it. And this is all the wood they chopped down. Eventually they're going to move this into the storage area, as well as any garbage and stuff. And now that that's complete, and you can see most of these lights, if we go back to these little tiny wires. That was why, is because this big electrical cable wasn't kind of on the same plane. So the unfortunate thing is this room is too far away from that electrical cable for these little tiny lights, or little tiny cables to go. They can only go so far. So we're just gonna go, and even though it's a little redundant, we're just gonna go and do it along the length of that hallway. And then of course you can see all these lights here. We'll need it as well. So I'm gonna open up the utilities again, and let's just go down. We're gonna go like this. Let me see. Like that. And like that. And this should cover off everything in between. Now we also need to think about these large pipes. No, not my arms. Stop thinking about my juicy, muscly, bulging arms. And we're gonna go... just go like this. Wait. I'm gonna actually go in reverse. So we need... okay, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. And I realized I could have done that more efficient, that counting more efficiently. I could have just measured 32. 35 is the maximum we can go. What I think I'm gonna do is 36, no, wait, 33, 34, 35. Let me think about this. What is the most efficient way? I've got to think about it. Because I don't want this too close, because then it's easier for them to tunnel to it. But I think I may just go like this, because at least this is going to be the shower anyways. They're not going to be cells, so I'll have to dig a little further. Plus, these are all going to be eventually perimeter walls, just hopefully they don't escape before then. This is definitely an area where I feel like I can improve a bit. It's not like that. We're gonna go like this, and you're gonna see why I'm putting these pipes here. Because one, for every cell we need a toilet, but I also like to include a shower, because I'm a nice guy. And then this is the shower room. There's gonna be shower heads everywhere, and they all need to be connected. Actually, I don't need that there and there. All right. So. And I like to build the utilities before I start building the walls, because it makes it easier for these guys to do that shit. They don't have to tear down walls to get at certain areas. But you can see they've already hooked up the wires. So everything is nice and humming and glowing. Beautiful. And then they've got these last few pipes to install. Good job, boys. Good job. So there we go. Now everything is connected. They can clean... somebody's got... that tree stump looks like a rancid Hershey's Kiss. It's one of the tropical trees, that's why. Anyways. Now we can start building our... no, I want to go to the concrete walls. And we can just start laying them out. We'll do the perimeter stuff kind of first. Doesn't really matter, but there we go. Get this stuff going. You guys can go a little faster. than that if you want. And then we'll get the walls up, then we'll start putting the furniture in, and then we'll put the jail doors up. And Bob's your uncle. So let's go like that. Nope, not there. And to cancel things, sometimes you'll see me, actually you'll see me do that a lot. You just right click immediately after you left click, and that'll cancel the order to do that. I'm not exactly sure why all of a sudden these lights are flashing. It may mean we just need to... This is odd. Oh, it's probably because of the walls going up. It's getting in the way. So, let's just do this. Let's just do this. Go like that. Again, a little redundant, but it's okay. There you go. Yeah, you can see these little tiny wires. They can't go through the walls. I always forget about that. It's okay though. It's just made these guys completely redundant. But I like to have utilities kind of put in place beforehand and redundant rather than being like, oh my god, I don't have enough electrical cables. You can see here the water's already flowing. It can flow 700 and some meters from a pump station, so really you shouldn't normally need more than one pump station, and there's no like capacity for it. So that's kind of good news. But if you really expand with your lands, you might at some point be like, all right, I'm gonna put in another one. So the way I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna go as far away there. That should be okay. And then let's just go like that. And then connect these guys. And then that's going to bring water to everything here. I'm going to let these guys complete this before anything else. It's nighttime. We're already on day 4, and you're like, oh my gosh, but you got no prisoners, Michael. You got to build a prison first. Now, while these guys are doing that, we can kind of plan out the rest of this. Actually, I should be doing bureaucracy. So, I want cloning. I also want cleaning and groundskeeping. Which one do I want first? Let's do cleaning first. And then let's do prison. Actually, I need to hire a foreman. I forgot about that. Staff. Let's see what office he picks. Of course, the middle one. See, there's a little rhyme and reason to this now. But I'm just kind of like the warden. Usually, I feel he picks this one, and then I've seen some other guys like pick one at the other end. I'm like, but there's 3 perfectly good offices right next to the warden. Why'd you pick the one at the other end? You're a little isolated. Also, you see why I want a janitor. See how dirty this floor gets? Really makes you want to clean. So by having the foreman, we can now, he's doing cleaning, so we can hire some janitors. And after that, I'm gonna get him to do prison labor, and then groundskeeping. We'll do cloning at some point. I also need health and psychology, so I can do the one grant that we've unlocked. And I also want you to do all these things. I feel it's better to get a lot of these things out of the way up front, but you don't want to spend too much money either. It's pretty easy to spend a lot of money on those things, so keep that in mind. All right, all these lights for the most part are okay. Some of these cells for some reason do not have lights, but c'est la vie. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I just choked on my own saliva because I started to kind of chuckle internally at my whole c'est la vie thing. Oh, sometimes I crack myself up. Alright, what do you say we put some objects in these cells? So, if I actually... Where is the cell? If I mark these as cells, we'll see that it needs to be enclosed on all sides by walls and doors. Of course, we don't have a jail door yet. And we also need at least a bed and a toilet. So, I'm going to take my beds, and I'm just going to click and hold down. There we go. That's okay. And then toilets, give them a little privacy so they can poop in peace, somewhat. Oopsies, not there. I can only imagine how shitty it would be to like walk up and down these halls and you got all these guys shitting, and then the vapors are just kind of free flowing. Ugh. Ugh. Alright, we're also going to do showers because they're only $20 a piece, and it makes a big difference in the mood of the inmates. Because you can give them a little free time before leaving their cells in the morning, and then they can shower in there if they want, and then they can come in the shower if they really want. You want them to get all showered before they go and eat, because then they're all in kind of one area. It's gonna give them one less reason to fight. They'll fight over the dumbest shit. I'm like, I feel stinky, and then stab a guy in the neck with a plastic fork. And that all could have been avoided if you let them shower before they eat. And we can control their regime, so don't worry. That's probably something we're gonna get a little more into in episode numero 2. But anyways, get those showers there. Another important thing this actually took me a while to figure out, and it wasn't actually until somebody, when I was streaming Prison Architect, pointed it out. Drains help you drain the water, right? But I used to, I would just, cover the floor of my shower room with drains, but I would leave these two blocks, they wouldn't have drains, and all the water would flow here. I was like, what the hell? I've got so many drains. It's just you need to put it at an exit point where there aren't shower heads for whatever reason. So we only need 2. None of this needs to be covered with showers. And again, we've got 1 shower in each of these, so we're gonna put a drain at the spot where the door is gonna go, the exit. And that's good. It's not gonna cause flooding everywhere, which is nice, and they can still shower. So let these guys install that stuff. Let them go. Oh, look at all this good stuff. Look at all that wood. We can actually sell this wood if I just click on the wood. You can do a few things with these objects. I could keep them, but it's no biggie. Let's sell it. Look at, we got 150 bucks just for that. Boom. Goes the dynamite. Look at all this cash money we're making. A little tedious. You'll get to a point in the game where you don't need to sell this shit. 1, because you'll have no trees left, which means you'll have no stacks of logs left. Or 2, they're going to be using them in the workshop, in which case you don't want to sell them, because then you're just going to have to buy it back again to make all the fancy furniture and stuff. So that's cool. I feel like there's more staff we need to buy. 420 blaze it. He's still researching the security, so we can't get the chief yet. And then same for the psychology, which will be after a little while. So yeah, let's go and plan out our canteen and stuff. So I'm just basically, this whole area for the most part is gonna be more whatchamacallums, cell blocks. Oh, that's 12 meters there. I just wanted to make sure, so we need to go, there we go, that's 12, and then 2, and then 12, and then 2, and then 12, and that's almost perfect. And then we go like so. It's gonna go like this, just so I know, you know, how we're gonna be expanding in the future. We're not building this stuff right now, but it's always kind of good to keep your eyes on the prize. Get your own fries. Supplies, motherfucker. French fries, motherfucker. Sorry, dokes. You will be missed. Could these go? You guys could go a little faster if you want. Slowly doing this stuff, but surely. I could hire more workmen, but of course then my daily cash flow would go down, and I'm, you know, I don't want that right now. I'm in no rush. You can also see our power station is just over 50% capacity. If I had another capacitor, it's basically going to be at 1/3 capacity. And then if I added, you know, 2 capacitors instead of 1, then we'd be at 1/4 of the capacity. See how that works? Fractions. Fractions are fun. Junction, junction, what's your malfunction? All right. So this we've got 20 and then 40, 60, 80, and then do land expansion, and we could have, you know, another 100. Not quite 100, probably 160. I don't know. Anyways, we need a canteen, we need a kitchen, and we need a yard. Now, eventually these, yeah, for sure, this is going to be more cells, but just to save a little bit of time and effort, I'm actually going to make a temporary yard here. And then eventually I feel like we're going to expand this way first, and I'm going to put the yard back here. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but for now we're going to put up a nice little fence. Oopsies. Materials. This doesn't have to be super pretty or anything, but let's just follow some of these lines. Blurred lines. I know you want it. I know you want it. So I'm gonna build some fence there. You're getting rid of my planning, but it's okay. We've kind of got it measured out over on this side. And then we need to build a door. I'm actually gonna do a jail door. That way a guard needs to open it for these hooligans. Let's put it, doesn't really matter kind of where we put. Let's just put it there. Let's put it there. And then we're also gonna have materials, not materials, objects. I said objects. Metal detector. We want one of these right there. Shit, I just realized I should have done a double wide door, but it's okay. We're not gonna have too many. Also, I hate these blinking lights. Let's get rid of them, which is gonna be fixed, whoopsies, by putting in these jail doors so it's enclosed on all sides by walls and doors. And then, okay, staff, I need to hire, I believe I can hire janitor now. I'm gonna hire 2. They're gonna start cleaning this place up. Eventually I want more, but again, I'm concerned about my cash flow. Hey, look at them. Ah, it's nice how they go and do the warden's office first. Like, you're the boss, man, so we better make you happy, because I want to keep working here. Look at them go. And then hopefully they come in here after. Now, one of the things... Oh, I think I already... Did I finish one of the grants already? That's cool. Or maybe I... Wait, no, did I only... Oh, completed. Administration Center, that's right. Okay, cool. I can select another one. I think the staff well-being is an easy bit of money. Education reform takes a long time to do. You're like, oh, that's like 15,000 up front and then 40,000. It takes a long time to do, actually. So let's build a staff room, have at least 5 guards without... Yeah, so we'll need to hire guards. So we'll do that one after shortly. Let's plan out our kitchen and shit. Now, again, this is eventually going to be a cell block, but I think just to keep everything nice and cozy, I'm going to build the foundation here, and then we can just do the canteen and the kitchen right here. And we'll move it eventually. Eventually, the kitchen's going to kind of come out this way, and then we might do a canteen kind of right around here. Actually, we might do 2 large canteens. We'll figure that out. But for now, this will be okay. But first things first, I need to wear rooms. Just cross some of these things off, because here's your shower room. So there, that's off. Our yard is right here. Boom, cross that off. And we'll hire the chefs and the guards last. Build a holding cell. This is one like we can do kind of temporarily. Actually, here's what we're gonna do. Let's go and build a foundation. We're gonna put, so not concrete, we want brick. We're gonna do this, let me think here for a second. Staff room needs to be, what was it, 5 by 5 I thought, or something, or 4 by 4. 4 by 4. Visitation and holding. Where's the holding cell? Needs to be 5 by 5, and visitation I thought was something similar. Let's do this. We'll do 2 5 by 5. So, which means we actually need 7 by 7. There we go. So, not utilities, materials. No, we want objects. That's what I want. Put a jail door here. Then we're going to put a staff door here. So this is going to be the holding cell, and then I'm basically going to convert it immediately to a visitation center because I don't really need a holding center. I don't know, some people like to keep them, but I'm not as crazy about them. So if we go to rooms, I'm just going to slow things down a bit. Holding cell. We need a bench and a toilet, right? Yes. Okay. So we'll put a toilet right in here. And then a bench. These things don't cost a lot. And then we just got to make sure that we build a little pipe there. And then staff room is going to be easy enough. We need a couch and a vending machine for that. But I'm going to do more than one couch because I'm a miraculously nice guy. Sorry, a wide couch. Let's just go like that. Probably put in more at some point. But, there you go. All the flavors of the rainbow in that vending machine. And this always bothers me when you like build and remove like walls and stuff. It's unfinished kind of foundation, so I like to put the concrete floor on there. It's nice. Alright, and speed up a little more. They bring the toilets and all that good stuff. We're going to cross a few things off. So now you can see that we got our cells built. We can have a capacity of up to 20, at least safely. You could have more guys, but they'll just basically be waiting outside. That ain't cool. So staff room is good, so we need to have hire 5 guards, and then we've got kitchen and canteen, 2 guards, 2 chefs. Things are coming along. So now I got 15,000 left, so let's start with again, foundation. And how much is this going to cost me? Not too much. That's fine. Let's just get it out of the way. Actually, that hallway, we're going to want that. And then objects, let's just build a temporary staff door there. And I can actually dismantle this one because I don't need it right now. Step it up in the high gear. And now, actually, do they have the, where's the visitation one? Okay, complete basic detention center. So if I complete that, then I can start this, which is going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy, because this is now going to become my visitation room afterwards. All I need to do is take this stuff out and put in some visitation tables, and that's good and fun. So let's, it treats this fence like a wall, but I don't really like that, so we're going to go and build this as well, and then just demolish this guy because this is gonna be a hallway. Actually, and we could demolish these, but I don't really need to yet. Actually, no, we don't want to demolish these because it'll be the outer wall. Okay, let's get on with this stuff. You guys are like, oh, bring in the prisoners, but you can see there's a lot of stuff you gotta do. A lot of stuff you gotta do. You wanna fight about it? And if I go planning for one moment. 1, 2. Wait, I'm gonna go like that. I'm just planning out how these guys are gonna go. I'm confuzzled. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2. I think I shat myself. Oh, that makes sense, right? That's how it'll be. 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then I must have measured it wrong. Wait, let's just see this. 12. Okay. 12. Oh, I see. Yeah, never mind. Okay. So that's cool. So let's get our electricity up and running. Up and here, up and here. You guys can go and build that if you would like, please. Pass the cheese. And now we need a kitchen and a canteen. Again, these are going to be temporary kitchens and canteens. Eventually I'm going to move them, but again, I just want to keep everything nice and tight for this first little while. Yeah, it's not the most efficient way of doing it, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. So let's put... Actually, we're going to put up a wall. Where are my walls? Go like this. And like... Oopsies. Wait, motherfucker, wait. I decided against that. Oopsies. Demolish that wall. There you go. Okay. Let's go like... where? Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't really matter. These are going to be massive for the amount of inmates we have right now anyways. So, rooms. Let's put our canteen. Is going to go like this. And then our kitchen is going to go like this. And then I'm going to need to do staff door. Let's just put it, I don't know, we'll put it right there. And then we'll put one right here. And then we're going to put let me demolish this right. Actually, no, cancel that. We'll demolish this guy. And we'll put a large jail door there. Okay? Which the guards are going to control. And eventually we can put like a servo over there so that it will automatically open during the eating time. Because basically I really only want the inmates going into the canteen when they're supposed to be eating. Did you guys decide not to build the rest of this wall? Cool. There you go. Now they're going to tell us what we're missing here. Serving table, table, bench. We don't have a lot of money left, but it's okay. We're going to be getting some shortly. And since... Where are my tables? Table can sit 8 dudes. Actually, let's start with the benches. Actually, no. Scratch that. Let's start with the serving tables. Where do I want the serving tables? Put one here and one here. That should be fine. Then we'll put bench. Bench. Actually, this is more than enough, but and then we'll go like this. You'll see the method to my madness shortly. And there we go. I'm actually gonna get rid of these freaking lines for now. They're driving me crazy. Kitchen needs cooker, fridge, sink, at least one of each. I'll do a couple. Again, this is not the most efficient way to do this, but it's fine for now. And we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll get some sinks. These guys will need electricity, of course. There you go. Utilitage. See how this needs direct power? So again, like I said earlier, it's got the little wire like that. Nice and easy. Uh-oh. And if you go over here, I was like, why is that not working? I tripped it. See, if I switch on, we're at capacity, so it just trips. We need to add at least one more capacitor. I'm going to add 2, even though it's a little expensive. Kind of future-proofing is worth it. Juicy fruit is gonna move ya. Okay, switch on. There we go. I'll give you light. That's nice. And utilities. We need some of this for the sinks. And a little some of that for the sinks. It's coming along. So we've got a kitchen, we've got a canteen. And hired some guards. In a second. Actually, let's just do that now. We're gonna hire 5 guards. Did I hire? Oh, yeah, right, because we're our daily cash flow. So, what I'm gonna do? Let's just accept these guys. Don't worry, we're gonna be making money soon. You see, the guards love to hang out in the yard. I don't know why, they just do. Oh, 2 chefs. I wonder if it's just gonna let me. No! No! Let me hire them! I don't have enough money. If I had one more guard, I would get this done. I'm gonna make money as soon as these jabronis come in 5 hours. 13 prisoners is more than 8. It's fine. We can actually accommodate them. Each table here does 8. Alright. So that's, what is it? 8, 16, 32, plus another 16. That's 48. We're good. We're good. I could actually, I could fire some of the workmen, but I'll need them against. Oh, see, we're gonna need some more. We're producing, that's 200 units of power. See, each one of those blocks, get out of here, janitor, or cook, is 50. So 50 times 4 is 200. Each capacitor we add adds another 50. Alright, these jabronis coming in less than 2 hours now. Come on. Come on. I guess technically I could sell some of this with some extra cash. There we go. And I'm gonna put a large jail door here eventually, and everything's gonna be super automated. Trust me, right now it looks like poop. I'll admit that. That's only because you got to start somewhere. Once we get this to be a successful prison, you can actually sell it, and then you'll have like $300,000 to start off your next prison, and then you can build such a much more advanced prison the next time right from the get-go. So here you can see our prisoners, Alex Porter. You know, they give you all sorts of random and usually funny information about them. Again, this is alpha, so a lot of the stuff is not like proofread and all that, but it's still good. Alex Porter, age 46. You know, he's in normal security, and you can buy individual prisoners. You can tell, like, I want to search this fucker, or search his cell, or search the cell block he's in, or punish him. I can, you know, send to solitary or whatever. But anyways, biography. So he's sentenced to 4 years for violent disorder. He had family, an ex-wife, a daughter, son, and a mother. And then it tells you, you know, how much time he has to serve, what has been served, the plea. Plea is guilty. Oh, not guilty. What? So now he's got 2 years left. He's gonna spend them in my prison, I feel. Hopefully he makes it. Hopefully I can make it stay wonderful. Paul Hay, age 63. Sentenced to 9 years for rioting. Wow. He's got no family. I mean, I would probably riot if I had no family. Also, you can see things like grading, estimated reoffending chance. So if we release them, there's a 2% chance that hay here is gonna reoffend, which is pretty good. Usually they come in and it's like 90% chance, and you're like, all right, let's work the magic. Let's put them into some reform programs and change their ways. But this guy is just like, I'm old. I'm old. Hay is for horses. All right, this guy, oh, he's just starting out his sentence. 25 years, he's only 27. Shit. Reoffending chance 64%. Wow. And as you have these prisoners, they'll build a reputation and stuff as well. You'll learn things about them too. You know, if they're like really strong, whatever. Anyways, I'm not gonna look at them all. Simon Distar, Cull, Distar, Ian Watt, Tom France. You want some French fries to go with that, Tom France? You want some French fries to go with your hamburger? Tim Slater, for multiple crimes, rioting, violence, disorder, and assault. Alright, cool beans, whatever. Nothing too serious here by the looks of it. Now you can see cash flow's gone up. So I can staff, hire another guard. Oh, because the actual money. Oh, wait. This is, I gotta wait for my cash flow. Oh, this is gonna suck. Bring them in, guards. Bring them in. See, this is why I shouldn't have done so many of the bureaucracy things right on the get-go. But, it's okay. They've got free time right now. They're gonna get a little upset if I don't have enough food prepared for them. Oh, look, see, this guy's using the shower. Already, comfort. See? They're happy. See, I'm a good guy. Alright, you just give, at least let me hire one cook. Just give me a few more dollars. Please. Somebody chop down a freaking tree so I can... There we go. Wait, staff, cook. Bam. Okay, I need one more. Actually, that's a good idea. Just dismantle it. Dismantle it. I don't need these trees. These trees need me. I like trees. I'm gonna plant a whole bunch just in different areas. Don't you worry. It's eating time. These guys, yeah, it's gonna suck because they're probably not gonna get too much food this first day. But, you know. You dim some, you lose some. Am I right? Or am I right? Alright, come on, sell this. Staff, I can get another cook. And boom! Now I can get another guard. There, I got 2 there, actually. So now we've got a decent amount of money. I can build a medical ward. Let's just slow things down a tiny bit. One awaiting solitary confinement. I do not have a solitary. So what I'm going to go do is, if we go to our policy, you can see a lot of these tabs are opening now. This is policy for when shit goes down. If somebody destroys something, they just lock them down in their cell. Escape attempt, lockdown, all these. Eventually I'm going to want them all solitary, but I don't have solitary yet, so I'm just going to switch to lockdown so that they don't wait forever and die. Because they'll just basically sit them in the hallway until they can put them in solitary. Which ain't cool. And then you can see our regime here, actually, is bullshit. There's a lot of lockup. They don't really like that, so we're going to do a lot of free time. And eventually we're going to add work when there's work for them to do, but for now, free time is okay. And they will want a common room. Do not kid yourselves about that. They will want that. And I will do that soon. That's going to be a next episode type of thing. I'm trying to finish up here. 8 prisoners arriving. So first thing is prisoners, boom, because I can only handle 7 more, and I don't want to handle more just yet. I want to get these guys kind of a little happy. So yard, bureaucracy here. I want to set up patrols and deployment. They're big. And cloning is another big thing. And that's like the initial, like, what I need right now. Because I don't want to have to build these cells every time. Basically, the clone tool will allow me to select them, stamp it somewhere else, and they're just going to put everything that I selected in that area, minus the utilities underneath. We'll need to do that every time, but that's okay. And so now, okay, these guys are chowing down. It's good. Hey, what's up, hey? Hay is for horses. So this is okay. What I should see, these fuckers. You can't be in here. This should be staff only right now, and I can't say it's staff only until I have deployment unlocked. Deployment is what allows us to say this area is like staff, or you know, medium security, prisoners only. This area is staff only, so on and so forth. So at least until I have prisoner labor going and I allow them to work in the kitchen, I just don't want any inmates in the kitchen. As well, one of the big things that we need, metal detectors. Do not underestimate metal detectors. Do not do that. Okay? We're going to do that. And we're also going to do this. Just in case. Utilities, we gotta have these guys hooked up. There we go. Because you don't want, like, these guys will steal items from the canteen and bring them back to their cells and stuff. Eventually, I'm gonna set rules like, so they'll go to solitary or something, but I don't have solitary built yet. So lockdown will have to suffice, and we're going to do shakedowns. Actually, let's do a shakedown right the fudge now. They only have to search 96 places, which isn't that much. So each cell, each prisoner. But at certain points, I can just say, well, I just want them to search the cells, search the prisoners only. But you can see what they find stuff. See, they got a shank and a knife already. Some of those guys might have brought that stuff in with them. They might have taken it from the canteen. What do we got here? Booze. Also, a thing I should note that I don't think I talked about. People can throw contraband over the fences, and then the prisoners can get it. I believe the number of blocks that they can actually toss it was something like 10 blocks, 10 meters. Correct me on that if I'm off. I think I read that on the Prison Architect Reddit, your subreddit. But either way, something to think about. And I'm not sure how that factors in if you have perimeter walls in place. This is not a lot. Also, what's going on up here? Oh, for the love of God, when oh, see, this is bad. When I installed those metal detectors, that was the tipping point. Come on, go install. It's not such a big deal because they're sleeping right now. But, yeah, I guess that's probably the best time that it could happen, but it's not fun. Switch on. There we go. So, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, 300 units of power. We're still kind of close to capacity. But it's also, you know, we got a lot of fridges and cookers and stuff of that nature. And I believe each metal detector takes like 1 unit of power or something like that. It's pretty crazy. This guy, you should be sleeping, buddy. Right here, it tells us what exactly part of the regime is happening. So let's also do large jail door right there. Yeah. And I really want to show you guys the door servos and the CCTVs and all that stuff, but that's definitely a episode 2, episode 3 kind of thing. But yeah, so I think it's an okay start, but we're not there yet. We're gonna get there. I'm gonna build. This area here is gonna be for classrooms, workshops, laundry, cleaning room, stuff of that nature. I'm gonna actually have a full-on kind of kitchen right here, and canteen probably here, big ass one. Again, this isn't the most efficient design, but gonna kind of go with it. And then eventually for 20,000 we can expand out here once we have that unlocked in the bureaucracy. And we'll put a nice, good, proper yard here and start thinking about forestries and expanding, having a dedicated, like, maximum security wing, protective custody, and maybe even get into a supermax at some point. Who knows? Or we may just have a nice, decent prison and use it for a while and then sell it for big chunks of money and then build a much more proper prison that we can plan out a little better. We'll see. Oh, 69% fed. Stop making food. Stop feeding them. That's all we want. Right on. All right. And we're also going to have, you know, clean up the yard. We're going to put in grass, put in gravel around here, all this stuff once we have more money flowing. But for now, you know, you just want to get the basics. It's so hard to resist. Be like, oh, but I could just make this all nice, lush grass. Oh, that would be perfect. But you don't got any money. One prisoner's due for release soon, which is kind of crazy. Why would you bring a prisoner to prison for like 5 days and then release them? Like a brand new prison. I guess it's okay to kind of test out that prison, but whatever. It's cool. One less guy to worry about. Oh, wait. What's with the blood? Death? Huh? Who died? Who died? And why did he die? Where's the body? Where's the freaking body? First of all, let's check this. Okay, days without incident. So this guy's actually killed. Oh, snitch ex-law enforcement. I didn't see that. Maybe I could have seen that. That's why he's dead. They know. Somebody knows. Whatever. Get that out of the way. This is why you want a protective custody area, so they don't interact with the rest of the population. If that guy had died, like some of them will do like a drug overdose or just die of natural causes, I guess. That doesn't count as an incident. So they might die, but you don't have to worry. Because here in our finance tab, you see how much income you're getting, what your expenses are, and you know basically what your net profit is, your cash flow. So there is a modifier. If you go so many days, you start to go so many days without incident, you actually make additional money. They're like, oh, you're doing well, good job, here's some extra money. It's an incentive to have a nice, properly functioning prison with, you know, well-behaved inmates. Of course, your staff wages, so the more staff we have, the more we have to pay them. Food is controlled by your quantity of meals, or quantity of food in the meals, sorry, the frequency of the meals, and the variety of food in the meals as well, so we can, you know, increase or reduce that. And then it's all multiplied by how many prisoners you're feeding. Administrator wages, the wages of the guards, your workmen, and then you've got grants. So for some reason we have now like 3 guys that are actually high risk or maximum security, probably because they basically decided to shank that ex prison guard or officer or whatever, so they've been bumped to high risk. Where did I go? Let's go back to finance. So you get a grant for having, you know, max security, which is higher than just the standard prisoner, and supermax is going to be even higher. And then we've got our federal grant, like all this stuff, and then our corporation taxes. We can reduce that with our accountant through the bureaucracy, which is something you definitely want to get on sooner than later. It costs a lot, like $10,000. It'll reduce it to 15% tax rate. So they basically say you will save $1,500 for every $10,000 of profit that's taxed. And then there's the offshore tax, which like reduces it crazy, but it also costs $50,000 to start that. I haven't hired a security guard. That's why these things are not happening. I have a tendency to forget that. So let's just, or security chief, boom. And a psychologist, boom. There we go. So that's going to eat into our daily cash flow, but it's going to be worth it. And now these guys are pissed off. 9 prisoners have serious complaints, and that's probably going to be like their clothing, I imagine. So if we go to our needs tab, family and recreation. So they want a common room, basically. So one of the things I can do, objects, give them some weight benches. Let's just put in 2, 3, 4, 5 there for now. That's fine. And some phone booths is going to help out with the family big time. Like that. And then common room is going to help with recreation as well. It's going to be the pool table and TVs. Let's see if I can I accommodate that without building something new? Not really. Here's what I'm gonna do here. Actually, where's the double jail door? Dale door. So this, I mean, it's a little things like this, but it makes a huge difference. Because right now they're like, oh, I'm so angry I might riot. And I don't want riots. So family and recreation are pretty easy to deal with, actually. And actually, wait a minute. If I go to grants, I can do the visitation. And this is going to be very easy for me to do. It's going to help with family. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into the visitation. So where's my visitation? There we go. Do that. I'm going to dismantle this toilet, dismantle this bench, and utilities. I'm just going to dismantle this little pipe here. I don't need it. And then when they go and get rid of that stuff, I can right-click this door to open it rather than wait for a guard to come and open it. Or I can click the door and I can set it to locked open or locked close. But then I'll forget about it and that could be bad. So objects, now visitation. Let's see if I can squeeze 3 into here. That's gonna be good. You know, it's not, I should have made it bigger, but it's fine for now. I will expand on it later. I might even move it. Oh shit, you know what I just realized? Objects, materials. I know you're probably screaming about this the whole time, because I plan to build out a little bit. And then let's put a object, jail door here. There we go. Now, because normally I will have, like, it'll be fenced in and all that stuff, and there'll be a special way for the prisoners to get to the visitation room. But until I do that, I'm just going to leave it open, and that'll be okay. I hope. With this many prisoners, I can kind of keep an eye on them, kind of making sure they don't run wild out here. I also want to get a prison guard stationed out here so that he can be opening this jail door for all these jabronis rather than having to run out here. This stuff, it's going down. That's good. Get in here. Get in. Ah, these guys are chowing down. Oh, they're just kind of hanging out. Talking about recreation. I know. But, you know what? I could keep going and keep going and keep going. I need to... Wait, visitation rates. Oh yeah, I also need to do all the common room and stuff. Anyways, I think I'm gonna, first of all, I'm gonna save it because I haven't done that. I'm gonna save over my Foxhill prison. That's an old kind of startup one. Anyways, but this is Foxhill Penitentiary, federal, pound me in the ass prison penitentiary, whatever. This is gonna be the stop of episode 1. Episode 2, we're gonna like kick it up in the high gear. We're really gonna start kind of getting the stuff. Episode 3, and within those, you know, few episodes, we're gonna get into some of the more advanced stuff as well. So you shouldn't have to wait too long to see how door servos work and kind of automating things a little more. Again, I'm not the be-all end-all of Prison Architect, but I've put in over 50 hours at this point, and I picked up a few things, a few tips and tricks. So let's have at it. I hope you guys enjoy this. I very much love this game, and I'm looking forward to future updates and stuff like that. So I plan to keep playing for the foreseeable future. Anyways, it's good fun stuff. Great game. You can get it on Steam. I do not recall how much it's going for. I think it was like 15 or 20 bucks or something in that spectrum. Anyways, I consider it worthy of a purchase. I love prison-related stuff, and it's a very fun simulator game. There's a lot to do. So yeah. If you like it, maybe go purchase it. If you're happy watching me play it, that's cool too. Whatever floats your boat. Anyways, I'm going to see you guys in the next episode. Until then, peace out.